Good afternoon, everyone. As we begin our services, if we can please kindly turn off all cell phones or electronic devices, or please place them on silent. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Rabbi Abe Friedman from Temple Beth Zion, Beth Israel in Philadelphia, here with my colleague Rabbi Abby Weber, grateful for the presence of family and friends as we pay our last respects to Marilyn Litke, and as we are here to comfort Suzanne and Lisa, Adam and Bridget, Diana, Eva, Michael, and Patrick. When parents, we read in the wisdom of Ben Sira, when parents who have taught their children pass on, that passing is not a death. As long as the child lives, there is a part of the parent that cannot die. When alive, a parent rejoices with children. In death, we need not grieve. Marilyn Litke was a woman of many, many loves for this blessed country, the United States of America, and her favorite, Mr. Jefferson. For opera and classical music, love of cooking and baking, a love of penguins. And beyond all of these loves, Marilyn loved her family the most. Harvey, the undisputed love of her life, her children, grandchildren, countless friends she took into their heart as if they were flesh and blood. Marilyn was born in Brooklyn 90 years ago, and she had her first, but not only, encounter with an American president as a toddler when her mother took her to a parade to see FDR in Brooklyn. And she managed to eclipse that early experience during college when she and her friend Cynthia went to Washington, D.C., and Marilyn knew exactly where and when to stand outside the White House lawn to catch President Truman on his daily walk. She was up for any experience that her dear ones wanted to try. She might not have woken up in the morning with a strong desire to go fishing or to swim or take a ride on horseback, but she found deep and abiding joy in others' enjoyment and was not bashful about going along for the ride if it meant that she could spend time with the ones that she loved as they were loving what they were doing. Marilyn's dinner table was a microcosm of her heart. She made sure that every guest had the foods they wanted to eat, even if it meant cooking 2 entrees or preparing many, 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 many desserts, the famous N/2+1 formula for deciding how many dessert items was appropriate for a dinner of any size. Marilyn also understood that true relationships are more than a set of shared interests. She made deep, lifelong connections with people like Hope, more than just a neighbor, someone who became like a sister to her, someone with whom the difference in their backgrounds was eclipsed by the depth and richness of their love for one another. Every grandparent loves their grandchildren. Not every grandparent is so determined to find specific and individual ways to connect with each grandchild. And in some ways, Marilyn's attention was the truest measure of her love, that she truly knew each of you, appreciated each of you for who you are, for how you live in the world. Knowing, understanding, and honoring you as you, and able to appreciate everyone. And she was not bashful about showing that enthusiasm, owning and wearing sweatshirts from each of your colleges, despite being, in her children's words, not a sweatshirt person. Most importantly of all, Marilyn showed us that the most enduring love shows up not in grand gestures, but in the smallest details. Your initials spelled out with chocolate chips atop a chocolate mousse, then lovingly served as your portion of the dessert. With Marilyn's children and grandchildren here today, there is a part of Marilyn, I dare say the most important part of Marilyn, that has not died. And as every person she graced with love goes on to love others, her legacy not only survives, it grows. It passes further and further into the world. Yehi Zichra Baruch, may we be blessed each time we speak her name and live by her example.
Continue with Psalm 23 in Hebrew. I'll invite you to sing along. Adonai ra'i lo echsar binoteh sheyarbitzeni al mei menuchot yenaleini. Nafshi yeshovev, yancheni b'maglei tzedek, yancheni b'maglei tzedek, le'ma'an shemo. Gam ki elech begates al mavet lo irara ki ata imati shivtecha amishantecha hema yenachamuni. Taroch lefanai, shulchan neged zorerai, dishanta vashem en roshi, kosi revaya. Ach tov v'chesed yerdefoni, kol yemei chayai, kol yemei chayai, v'shavti b'beit Adonai le'orech yamim. Adonai ra'i lo echsar, Adonai ra'i lo echsar.
I invite you to join me in reading the 23rd Psalm. If you have the small white booklets, you'll find the English on page 3. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Invite you, if you're comfortable rising, to stand now as we continue with El Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer.
El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hamtzeh Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, B'ma'alot Kedoshim U'Teharim, Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim, Et Nishmat Miriam Bat Zalman V'Leah Shehelcha Le'olama, Began Eden Tehei Menuchata, Ana Bal Harachamim, Hastireha Beseter Knafecha Leolamim, Utzror Bitzror Hachaim Et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata, V'tanuach B'Shalom Mishkava, V'nomar Amen.
God, filled with compassion, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Marilyn Litke, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated.